we will be talking about our fusion tools. Because if there is a fast way of achieve and maintain the state of coherency, it's our technologies. It's our little gadgets. It's our little helpers that we found to be the most efficient in achieving the state of coherency quickly and keep us that way. So we found a combination of three extremely complementary technologies. Our Solaris blanket, our soft laser, and our scanners or osmotic devices, which each one is a standalone technology. But when blended together, they create a system that is much bigger than some of its parts. And what it creates, the condition when 1 + 1 + 1 equals 111 and not 3. So what we will be talking about in this part is what actually these technologies do. So kind of the basics for each one of them, so you understand what exactly and why you need them, and why you need a combination of them rather than each one of them, or which one of them you would need the most if to select one. So this part of the presentation, it's called the Healing Fusion for your health and wellness rescue. And we will be again looking at the fusion from a point of view of self-care, because our emphasis is homeschool your healthcare. So how can you use these tools in your daily life? And what you actually can do with that. And you can do quite a bit. There are even very serious conditions which you can treat at home with the fusion tools very successfully, not being a health practitioner. Just one example. I don't know if you are probably familiar with that, and if you can see it, guys, this is actually an arm. It's actually a hand with a 3rd-degree burn. This is a hand of a woman who was a waitress, and she just dumped some, boiling stuff on her hand. It's the professional injury. So she had 2nd and 3rd-degree burns up to her elbow. So this actually looks like an elephant arm, with as you can see, all these bubbles and skin hanging over around. The prognosis was by the doctors about 8 months to a year in recovery, several skin grafts, and possible loss of the use of her hand because of scarring, deep scarring developed on, obviously, with a burn like this. She was treated by a layperson. That's why we are talking, homeschool your healthcare. A homeschooling mom, her friend, with the fusion tools. She used the blanket just, to calm a person down, to keep the stress down. Used mostly the laser in the beginning because the arm was in the covered, so through the bandages, scanner couldn't go through the bandages. So she used the osmotic around and on the other arm, and the laser through the bandages. So the end result I'll show you right here. So no scarring, no nothing, a little discoloration of the skin. So arm completely back to normal. So this is the end result, and it all has been done in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Here we go, week by week. So week 1, right? Week 2, week 3, 4, 5, 6.
How many times a week?
She did it every day. Every day.
Actually, she didn't do it every day. It was only like 3 or 4 times a week.
I think in the beginning was every day, but what the point is, it wasn't like all day long, basically, because the woman didn't have the equipment in her possession, so she used it only when she would go to her friend's house.
After how long each time?
I believe it was about 20 to 30 minutes each time.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Not non-extensively at all. It's not 24 hours. So that's, and of course in the end, complete use of her hand back. And that's what you can, guys, do, even not being a health practitioner, just having your fusion tools. And this obviously is not a simple case. So that's just one example. Well, you probably saw this guy, little guy. That's a case of low-level laser. Dr. David knows this case much better because it's his case. And this little boy fell off the bike, and his front teeth were virtually like kind of got into the jaw.
It broke the labia plate, and you know the big concern is his mom is actually a dentist, and the big concern is, oh my God, all his baby teeth are going to turn black. After the first day, he treated himself completely. The rest of the time, we only treated him once professionally, and after that, he used the soft laser at home for approximately about 20 minutes per day. You can see what happened, how much reduction in inflammation by the second day.
So the middle one is the second day.
Yeah, and the sixth day...
and basically nothing in the sixth day.
I said, I think your son is more handsome now than he was before the accident. And the interesting thing is he was much more wary on his bicycle after that, so that was a good thing. But all his baby teeth, none of them left, none of them turned black. His permanent teeth came in June. So that was really a wonderful miracle. And again, he treated himself completely after the second day. So why not let your kid do it?
We have actually the situation with the teeth in adult. One of our wonderful practitioners in Texas, she fell and her two front teeth start turning black. So she used the cosmetic and the laser. So still have her teeth and they turned back white. So adult teeth can be dealt with also. Okay, now another situation when you can really successfully use, this guy is a professional, not a boxer, but kickboxing. And you know how much money is involved in competitions like that. So that's what he got, like eye completely shut, right? So he couldn't compete obviously with the eye like that. And this is a tough guy. So on the right you see how it looked from the bottom. So 20 minutes with the dove. 20 minutes from this to this. So that's what you can do for people, for sportsmen in competition, and obviously not just with the eye, but with any kind of trauma or injury. But this was a particularly interesting situation, because otherwise he would be probably out of any competition for a week. You know how long these things take. Judy, you wanted to?
I have a question. We were talking about the burns and that the laser works through gauze.
Yes.
I have a little boy who just broke 2 femur bones, and he has a cast on it. How thick of a...
Laser can go through the cast.
It can.
Yeah, it will go through the cast.
Just that if I was in a situation, what would be the boundaries?
There is no any. Probably the metal would prevent laser light going through, but not even. Some of the metal still would let it in. But casts, bandages, especially if they're light color. If the dark color absorbs laser light a little bit, but the light color is fine. And you use laser through the cast. When you use scanner on the other arm, like on the symmetrical part, you will look for that.
Does it go through the blanket?
Yes.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, laser light will go because it's not EMFs. It's light. Light will. Coherent light will. But it's better to use inside the blanket, so it stays more inside. This is a situation also quite interesting. It's just we took a few cases of different. You got a child, you got the young man, You got a professional woman, and this is the old elderly lady. This is the 83-year-old lady who developed an explosive wound, which was sewed, and the prognosis wasn't that good. There's actually this description of the case right over here. So it was infection, and the prognosis was not good. Also, of course, treated just at home by a non-practitioner. This is just Q1000 situation. It was this family didn't have any scanners, but if they do, it probably would be faster than Foreman. And our famous horse with the wires wrapped around her leg and the bad infected wound, and of course that horse needed to be put down. That was the only possible way, because it's gangrene.
The gangrene was so bad that you could smell it about a block away.
Well, Dr. David's case again.
Actually, I just talked to the vets. So 3 vets worked. Even intravenous antibiotics couldn't help. The horse was to be put down that day, and luckily someone talked to Dr. Lytle, the guy who created the Q-Series laser, and said, "I'll give you a laser to help the horse," and gave the laser, and it literally was 8 sessions of 6 minutes altogether, 3 to 6 minutes, and that then became 3 weeks later. What was interesting about it,
you can see it here, but it didn't have any hair yet.
right? So it still was scarred, and the horse was fallow, meaning it wasn't running around too well. And when Dr. Lytle called and said, "Well, how's the horse?" Well, the horse is alive, but and it's a dressage horse, so it's a $50,000 horse, and dressage horse has to be beautiful as well as have full movement. And Dr. Lytle very simply said, "Well, why don't you continue to use the laser?" And, "Oh, I could do that," right? And you'll see, I believe, the next picture.
No, we don't have the next one, but you can show it later.
You can show it later. The next picture is all the hair regrew over the next 3 months. That horse is winning again in dressage, and now I believe has produced her 5th foal. So, and this was about 7 years ago. So quite amazing, and all for about a $1,300 device. So it was quite inconceivable, but incredible what occurred.
So again, home environment, non-practitioners. So you can do pretty amazing things, guys, just with your equipment, even in a home environment. So as we already mentioned, these are 3 components of the fusion, 3 technologies that we suggest for you as the best combination of cutting-edge technologies that can probably do the best and the most for you for your investment. It's the best ROI, return on investment, so far, which we found. If we will find something else, we will tell you. But this is probably the best you can get. Now let's go through each one of them. The oldest, of course, you already know that. The oldest 3 technologies increase the coherency level of the system, right? They improve communication in the system. They just do it in a different ways. They approach it from a different angle. In their own unique way, each one of them contributes to the coherency. But that effect gets multiplied when you combine all of them. So communication is the key, we know that, right? So 3 technologies presented here. Yes, which one is which, by the way? Well, consider, we will see actually later on, each technology has its character. So these characters can be related to this pretty much. And I'll ask you a question in the end, which you think is which, okay? So we have a dog, a cat, and a mouse.
that right.
Yeah. Soft laser. Laser is actually the acronym and stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Radiation is not a scary word. Radiation just means something is emitting waves, emitting, in this particular situation, light. Sun is a source of radiation, right? But it is a positive one. So radiation is not a scary word, which is to have this connotation, but it's not really. So light amplification, meaning getting more, by stimulated emission of radiation. By nature, laser is a source of coherent light. Not just any light. Light which is structured. Light which is harmonized. Light is a stream of photons. It's the small elementary particles that don't have any mass. They are just small particles of light. They're called photons. So that's what laser does. Laser emits ordered stream or organized stream of photons. Now when these photons hit the body, they create the release of electrons or small negatively charged particles, which our body desperately needs, because electrons is that what makes our energy flow in the body. Laser does not emit electrons as such, but in a way, indirectly, it does create the stream of electrons or negative charged particles in the body just by photons hitting the bodily structures. Now, the stream of negatively charged particles, electrons, will make our body more alkaline first. And what else it will do? It will help the membrane, the cell membrane, function better. Because one of the major functions of our cell membrane is the pump. It's the constant exchange of charges. Our membrane needs to be polarized in order to keep its function. It has to have negative charge on one side and the positive charge on the other one. When our membrane loses its potential, it loses its pump function. It loses the ability to take the nutrients and oxygen in and throw the garbage out. So our membrane needs to keep the electrical potential at all times. And negative charges delivered to the cell membrane will help our cell membrane to be more healthier, to be better polarized, and to function better. So in general, we say that laser can help our membranes be more healthy. And this way, our cells will become more healthy. They will take oxygen better, they will take nutrients better, they will release the toxins out. So laser will help on a cellular level our tissues be healthier. Not only that, but the stream of electrons will create more energy in your body, more bioenergy, because that's what our channels and meridians work on. Channels and meridians transmit electrons, negative charges along. So the more negative charges we have, the better our energy system functions. Our bioactive points, or known as acupuncture points, are actually electron capacitors. They collect electrons on the skin surface, and then they transmit electrons along channels and meridians. So shining, yeah, we have ducks here again. So shining the laser light on the skin surface will create more electrons in our bioactive points, in our acupuncture points, and better conditions for our channels and meridians to function. So this is one of the basic soft laser functions. Now, when we say soft laser, it means that not every laser light is soft. Some lasers can be very stimulating, and some lasers can be even surgical lasers, they can cut through tissues. It all depends on the power of a laser. When we're saying soft laser, means very low power. Low level laser is the same as a soft laser or cold laser. It's non-heating light and quantitatively under 1 watt of power. Under 1 watt of power. Now, out of all the lasers on the market, I personally, when I didn't know Dr. David yet, I kind of knew, working with a scanner most of my holistic medical life, I thought that laser makes a good combination with a scanner. Theoretically speaking, it should make really good combination, but I practically could not find a laser that would match and could be combined with a scanner. The reason is all the lasers I worked with were 2 stim